Go ahead and get started. It works with adults too. All right. First off, I'm going to get started. Welcome to our November edition of our Sunset Trails Cub Scout Roundtable Breakout. Thank you for being here. As with each month, we're going to start with sign-ins, name, rank, serial number. I'll start one here and one over here. Please sign in to one. If you've been to my breakouts consistently, I probably have your email address. You could skip that one if it hasn't changed. But I do want to know that you're here. For those of you who are new, there are 3 reasons why we ask you to sign in. The first is at the end of the evening this evening, I will send everybody here who gives me a valid, legible email address, an email to a pointer to a Google Drive location where all of these slides and all of those handouts in the back plus additional handouts will be available to you. Mostly in PDF format. There's one Excel spreadsheet today. You can keep those forever and ever. It's my service to you. It's something that you can use as a resource. Second reason is we are keeping track of those packs who do not send scouters very often or at all to Roundtable, and we're reaching out to those packs to say, hey, why are you not coming to Roundtable? What's going on? So by you being here, you stay off the nasty gram list. So your pack gets credit, which is great. And then the third one is if you're working on an award, say Scouters Training, Den Leaders Training, Cub Masters Key, something along those lines, there are requirements in there to engage with your district and or council, a la come to Roundtable. So if it ever comes up, hopefully it doesn't, that Scouter Joe put in for Scouters Training or something similar, and the question comes up, did he actually go to Roundtable? We have that information, those records, we can back you up. So again, hopefully Scouts Honor, that won't be an issue. By the way, speaking of Scouts Honor, we do not sell, trade, barter, or share any of this contact information. This is only for Roundtable staff use only. That's my pitch on that one. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Volz. I'm your Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner. My partner in crime, Daryl, cannot be here today, unfortunately. He sends his regrets. We are resources to you. If you have issues, problems, questions, please feel free to contact us. Give me a call, send me an email. Daryl is our advancement, and I say this with all sincerity, he is an advancement guru specialist. He can answer all your questions about the new adventures. If you're a brand new den leader and you're like, what's going on? My hair is on fire. He's a great resource for you. I get a lot of questions that are more higher level. And I welcome those. I answer questions pretty much all month long, sporadically. So that's who we are. Let me do a quick, we have a fair number of people. Let's go quick around the room with your name, your units, what you do, and I don't know, what's your favorite scouting activity? I'm going to start in the back. Man in green.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Dave, Pack 467, I'm a Tiger Den Leader.
Nice.
And the camping's got to be the favorite.
Rock and roll. Next.
I'm Jeff Goodell, I'm the Pack 467, I'm the Wiggles Den Leader, and my favorite activity is probably the summer camps.
Excellent.
Darren Gildemotter, Committee Chair for Pack 162. Favorite event is probably Roundtable Breakouts.
Oh, come on! Margot, regale us with who you are.
Okay, I'm Margo Mean and I am the district Cub Scout trainer. And
Do you have a favorite activity?
University Scouting is my favorite thing.
Cool. So if anybody's not trained, Margot's a great person to do training. She's here today to train committee chairs. There are no committee chairs that apparently need training. Sorry? Nobody showed up. Yeah, she's sad. But if you're a brand new den leader, a brand new committee chair, a brand new cub master, Margot is fantastic. And I believe your contact information is one of my handouts. So don't hesitate to ask Margot to get you trained. She's happy to do that. Right next to you.
Hi, I'm Heather Murphy, and I'm not really tied to any pack or troop. I'm here.
I have an adult application with your name.
No.
Sorry, I showed my committee chairs.
Technically, she's a unit commissioner.
Okay. That's excellent. We need more of those.
I do sit through lots of Margot's trainings, so
That's good. Let's come back to you, sir.
My name is Rudy Ullman, I am the Cub Master for Pack 841, and my favorite Cub Scouting activity is any activity that I can do.
Cool. And you've been in scouting for a while, I can see.
Yes.
Excellent.
Jay Justice, Pack 208, Cub Master. Favorite activity is probably Pinewood Derby.
Yeah, me too.
My name's Tony Up. I am brand new to scouting from Pack 292 at Aero Hustle. I am the den leader for the Bears. And I don't know my favorite activity yet, but I do love to camp and I do love to hike, so.
It's getting recruited to do this scouting thing, right? Yeah, excellent.
Jim Sifferly, Cub Master, Pack 198 out of West TV. Favorite activities got this summer camp.
Cool.
Stephanie Robert, Pack 871, committee chair, and I love the day camp in the summer.
Yeah, very nice.
Lexi Jensen, committee member for Pack 875 and 547.
Okay.
And my favorite Cub Scouting activity is when my son makes his Pinewood Derby cart without letting his dad cut it on the table saw after his dad managed to slice off the end of two of his fingers.
Oh, that'll
That was
happen.
3 years ago.
Well done.
My name is Kevin McHenry, Pack 726, committee chair and Wolves and Tiger leader. And probably would be 4th of July, raising the flag.
Very cool. Very nice. For those sign-in sheets, pardon me, if you get them over the table, make sure you guys sign in when you come in. Ann.
Ann Coombs, Pack 500. I guess any activity where I can end the dead meeting and still have my sanity.
A wolf den leader, everyone. That's what she's talking about. In front.
Brenda Smith, Pack 162 Cub Master. My favorite scouting activity is watching young boys become good young men.
That's what scouting is all about.
Yeah.
The long-term perspective.
Yes.
Excellent.
Melissa Brown with 162. I'm advancement coordinator, Weeblos den leader, and Wolf den leader.
You're wearing a lot of hats.
Yes. And I don't really have a favorite scout activity. I mean, the camping's fun, but I love watching the kids do the projects. They do
Okay.
it, and it's
That's a
fun
good
to
one.
watch.
Excellent. In front.
Chris May, Pack 888 here in Beaverton. I'm Cub Master. I'd say my favorite Cub activity to date was the most recent Weeblos activity, where it was first aid.
Oh, nice.
I was a pirate. They killed me, and they treated me.
Nice. I like it. Okay, we had some newcomers.
Neil Wolf, 592. I am assistant Cub Master, and I'm also the Wolf Den leader. And was it favorite scouting thing?
Yeah.
Could be when as a leader or as when I was a scout?
Either one.
So I went to scout camp on Catalina Island, Camp Cherry Valley in Southern California.
Nice.
And I won an award that allowed me to be the most prestigious scout in the camp, and I got to go sleep in the top of the lighthouse. And the bioluminescence in the water was going that night, so it was a pretty special
Awesome.
time.
That is experience. And in the hats, you came in late too.
Yes, my name is Nate Paul. I'm from Pack 208.
Excellent.
I am a newborn Weeblos den leader. And my favorite thing about scouting is explaining to new parents that at camp, kids are going to get dirty, they're going to fall down, it's okay, and don't worry, they're not going to change their clothes.
It's true, yes. My youngest came back from scout camp, actually changed his clothes. My oldest, pristine clothing, yes. We did resident camp. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. So we just did welcome introductions, and by the way, for me, my name is Mike. If I were here as a pack, I'm pack committee chair with Pack 685. And by far, my favorite activity is Pinewood Derby. It has been since I was a scout. And I absolutely love seeing the creativity that comes from just a block of wood. It's my thing. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about religious awards and emblems briefly. For those of you who haven't been here, I like to present an award that we as scouters can guide our scouts to earning. I think that awards are really important and add depth to our program. So I like to do that. And not only can our scouts earn religious awards and emblems, but we can as well as adult leaders. We're going to go over very briefly what the December theme and the point of the Scout Law is. And we're going to do, I usually do a cheer, but at University of Scouting we talked about a gathering activity I wanted to share with you guys. And maybe if you guys want to hear more about some gathering activities, I could fold some of those in. So hopefully that won't take very long. Just kind of an idea. We'll get to our interest topic of new members in your pack, and there was a request for how does the district work, how does the council work, and where are my resources. So we'll do that, and there is actually a surprise little element, extra time. We're starting a little bit later than usual. We'll go, and then we'll end up with final thoughts and resources. So that's what's on tap. Any questions? I really kind of wanted to make this more of a discussion today than a lecture. I've had too many lectures the past couple months. But given where we're at, I may try to move things along. So please do feel free to stop me and ask questions and that sort of thing. I really learn more and get more out of, I think we all get more out of a discussion when we do a lecture. So religious awards and emblems. Scouting has always been about faith as part of the program. We encourage our scouts to grow in their faith. Of course, BSA doesn't endorse any specific religion, but with duty to rod requirements, the faith-related awards are always done pretty much with the family, with some exceptions if you're a charter organization and you have scouts from all the same group, that's fine. So the interesting thing about religious awards is they're not actually BSA awards. They're actually issued by the religious group themselves, whether it be a church, a mosque, a synagogue, something like that. They're usually represented by a medal, and almost always a square knot. The interesting thing about square knots is square knots typically represent a medal. For youth ages 6 to 18, you can usually be awarded a square knot that's blue, that's silver with a deep blue background. You'll see those floating around. And the square knots, by the way, go right above the scout's left pocket. Adults can be awarded a purple square knot and a silver background. This is actually very striking. It's a very striking award on a uniform if you've seen it. If you have scouts that have earned successively through different programs, and you'll see some of these are broken down into different age groups. And if they earn them multiple times throughout their scouting career, there are devices very similar to Scouters Training, Scouters Key, and Den Leaders Training doesn't have one. There's another one, Scouters Training, Scouters Key, and Unit Leader Award of Merit have very similar devices. If they earn it a second time, they don't earn a second patch, they put a device on the patch. And again, that's very striking too when you have those things on there. This is one of the unique ones. There are a couple awards that you can wear as a Boy Scout and as an adult leader that you earn as a Scout. This is one of the very few, along with Arrow of Light. I don't know if there's another one. Those are the two for sure. If you see an adult with this, it means they earned it as a Scout. And they've been doing this for a long time, which is cool. Okay. So let's start with LDS. There are three. LDS folks break it down to three different things. Faith in God for the Cub Scout and the 11-year-old Scouts. On My Honor is for 12 to 18-year-olds, and then On My Honor Adult for all registered adult leaders. The interesting thing I learned on Saturday is that the Faith in God doesn't actually have a medal. The Scout just earns the knot. The On My Honor Youth Award, they earn the medal that pins on, and then the On My Honor Adult is actually, I believe, around the neck. Anybody confirm that one for me? Is that correct? Did I get it?
I have one.
You have one. Margo can tell us all about it. I don't know the specific requirements, but I did provide some links down here. I know the font is tiny, but these links are live on the PDF file that's on the Google Drive. So if that's what you want to pursue, I suggest you look into what the specific requirements are. To jump to the Protestants, you'll see this set reflected a lot. This is kind of a standard, kind of a standard Christian element. You'll see this in, we'll go over that in just a second. But they break it down into 4 different groups. The first 2 thirds, so what we would call in the registration for Cub Scouts. And then We Belows for 4th through 5th, God and Family. And then younger Boy Scouts do the God and Church. And then the older Boy Scouts have God and Life. And the organization that sort of sponsors this in terms of the requirements, the pamphlets and things like that is called PRAY, P-R-A-Y. I forget exactly what it stands for. But you don't have to be part of a specific church to go through and do their program. So there's a link there for them. You'll see a common theme here with the United Methodists. Again, the exact same breakdown in ages, pretty much the same things. They have a few adult leader awards, more than a few actually, that are available to their adult leaders if you are affiliated with that church. Again, there's a link down there. If you're a Catholic, they break their things down a little bit differently. They have the younger age groups, the Led of Christ, and then I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I don't know Latin, sorry. And then for younger Boy Scouts, they have, again, I'm not going to give it a shot. And then Pope Pius XII, and their adult leader awards are actually by nomination only, which is interesting. Again, there is some information down here specifically from the Catholic Church. This is an image I found, I'm sorry for the potato quality, but this gives you an idea of the common theme. You see all these that are very similar, God and Me all the way up through God and Life. That's echoed throughout a bunch of different organizations, and then again, that's through the Pray program. And there are others that are very different. Again, LDS does their thing. Community of Christ is different. You'll see the Jewish faith down here is very different. Oh wait, the Buddhist faith is very different. They have their own things, and that's cool. All kinds of neat stuff. The thing that I wanted to really espouse to you is that as an organization, we can at least let our scouts know that there are these neat things that they can earn if they so choose. As always, like I mentioned before, we go through the family, through the family's faith and whatever they decide they want to do, and if that's their thing, it should be guided by the family. We do have some churches that offer to do a program, or charter organizations maybe, that offer to do a program for those scouts who want to do it, kind of get a group together. I would say be careful about excluding anybody if you have a mixed pack. We have a lot of packs that serve a very diverse group, so just something to be aware of. Scouting BSA has a link on religious emblems, as long as meritbadge.org is one of my favorite sites on the internet for scout information. Again, PRAY has a lot of great stuff, and Cub Scouts Online. So be aware these are out there, and we've seen some Cub Scouts that are very proud and very excited about earning those. So, question?
What if your church doesn't necessarily know about the God in Me program?
Right.
Because I have the materials to
Okay.
do it with my kids.
Yep.
Pastor doesn't know anything about it. Can they still sign off on it?
Yes, there should be 2 books. There's one for the scout and one for the
Counselor and an adult. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So for me, and we had one of our scouts
Does it look like a parent could be the counselor?
I believe that's not the intent. The intent is to have sort of a faith counselor along with the parent or guardian or grandma, grandpa, whoever have a thing, and the scout has a thing. I would recommend, it doesn't necessarily have to be the minister. It could be somebody that's affiliated, like a youth pastor or something like that.
Or Sunday school teacher with
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Especially if they're willing to do it and they're willing to learn the program, and yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 'Cause that was good.
Yep.
It's a big church.
Yes. In fact, one of the scouts in my pack is one of the Unitarian Universalist fellowships over here, and it was the youth activities leader.
Okay.
She's great, and she was, yeah, we'll do this, and so yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? All right, excellent. Let's talk about this month's December. So we're in November. We always look forward to what next month's point of the Scout Law and theme is. And next month it's appropriately irreverent. And reverent is one of those deep words in the Scout Law. It's got a lot of depth to it. Of course, the Scout is reverent towards God. The one that I really like is the last one. A Scout who is reverent has respect for the beliefs of others. And that's an important one, that element of respect. And of course, faithful and religious duties, they're always, every single rank now is going to have, from Tiger all the way to Eagle, is going to have a, what do you do in your duty to God coming up. So that's something that's important to espouse. If you're doing a Cub Masters Minute in December or something like that, those are some good talking points. Some ideas for December. If you so choose, have a Scout lead and opening prayer is an excellent one at your pack meeting. Again, you could think about promoting one of those religious awards, let people know that this is something that they can do. One of the things, to keep it lighter, one of the things that we did last year was we had the 12 Days of Camping song. It's not irreverent, it's fun.
I just printed that out.
The 5 pairs of underwear or something. It's hilarious. Scouts love it. I recommend it as your December pack meeting song, if you wish. Adventures that go along with it. I didn't even update those. I'm sorry. Most of the Duty to Gods probably fall into that. This is last month's. I apologize. Anything that has to do with faith from the previous 12 core values is obviously very applicable to the Scout Law reference. So look that up, whether you find stuff on Pinterest or something like that. Question?
And the wolves, the paws of the path, one of the things was talking about people and religious persecution.
Okay.
And the Thanksgiving story is a great opportunity
Yes.
for people. Because it's right now in November, but it was a great opportunity
I agree.
to go over with the Scouts. And I've told my pack, my den guys about that.
In fact, if you have a Bear Cub Scout and you have a family that's not especially religious, that's a great point for learning about, there's one of the points in there about learning about people in history who have done their duty to God or pursued their faith or what have you. And I forget the exact terminology, but that's an excellent point, and that's a good one to have the family sit down with your Bear Scout and say, hey, look, these people that we call pilgrims today or Quakers came and escaped religious persecution. And that's what that's all about. They had to be brave. And all that kind of thing. So there might be some truth to these. I can't remember them. I'm sorry. This slide might be a little bit dated. The theme from National is Winter Wonderland. If you're really big into Winter Wonderland, have at it. I'm not sure exactly how you're going to bring these things in, but peace, beauty, and holidays, absolutely. You could do songs and things like that, sharing your traditions. It is what it is. Go forth and give it a shot. Any thoughts or questions about the point of the Scout Law or the theme for this month? Yes?
Well, we just took the boys up to see the Vietnam Memorial yesterday, so that was really a nice place to go on Veterans Day. And
Cool.
we walked around to the one at Washington Park, and
Yeah.
it was a really, really nice outing. And then we're going to make posters, put some pictures of them, so we're going to make posters, I guess, the first week of December.
Okay. Very good. That's excellent. Thank you. All right. Yeah.
So something we decided to do both for this month and for next month, because we have this month Thanksgiving week and then next month Christmas week where a lot of family will be gone.
Yes.
Is you're doing a PAC activity. This month is the service project, and the next month we'll go visit a religious visitor center.
Okay.
As a PAC in lieu of the following week's den activity.
Okay. Cool. And especially you can tie that into some sort of an advancement thing that would say go to a center of some kind. There's all those kinds of things.
Two
Go
of the
visit
three
a
dens
thing.
had
Yeah, something that
criteria
relates.
met.
So that's always a good way to try to tie that in. Any other questions, thoughts, or comments? All right. So I learned an interesting gathering activity. I ended up pinch hitting at University of Scouting, teaching a class twice and I didn't expect to. And there was a great conversation about gathering activities. And a lot of us struggle. Does anybody struggle with gathering activities, their PAC meetings or den meetings? I mean, I know that we do. We have these scouts come in, they've got a lot of energy. What do I do with them so they're not just running around the room crazy, especially PAC meetings for us? And one of the suggestions that I heard that was really interesting was a beanbag toss game. And all you need is a couple of beanbags of various colors. And you get your scouts in a circle facing each other, facing inward, and you start with a color. Let's say it's red. And maybe you want to keep it fun and light, and you say, okay, you toss the beanbag, and if you as you catch the beanbag, you have to name a fruit. You can repeat, it just has to be a fruit. So apple, orange, blah, 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 and then it goes on for a while. And then you get interesting, you grab a green one. And you say, okay, when the green beanbag comes to you, you have to shout out a point of the Scout Law. It's okay to repeat, etc., etc. Okay, trustworthy, friendly, courteous. Lather, rinse, and repeat until it gets insane. And the nice thing about that is that as Cub Scouts come in and join your group, the circle can grow. It gives the Scouts something to do, obviously. And if it gets too big, you can split the circle into two circles. And you can get very creative with what they're supposed to say when they catch a beanbag. Sky is the limit. So I just wanted to present that. I don't have any beanbags to practice, and we need to move on. So,
So question, you're tossing them across to another scout?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And depending on what color you receive is what you're supposed to shout out.
Precisely.
So they have to think.
They have to think a little bit. You start simple with one, and then you throw them a curveball.
Then you throw 4 in there.
Yeah, it gets nuts. Questions? Pretty simple, right? Does anybody want to hear more gathering activities? Or?
Yeah.
It would
And
be
games.
nice.
Games too.
Games. Oh, you guys want to know everything.
We can share too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Maybe next month I'll put in some more conversation time.